everybody, it's Hunger again, and it's time for another Top 10 video. This time, Top 10 Best Things About Pokemon Uranium. So as I mentioned in the last Top 10 video, I did the Top 10 Worst Things About Pokemon Uranium. These are entirely based on my own opinion and my personal experience with playing this game. So these things that I'm going to go on about may not have the same weight for you, and also some of these things may be based more on the program that was used to create Pokemon Uranium than Pokemon Uranium itself. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get into the top 10 things that I think are the best parts of Pokemon Uranium. Number 10. The trade modes. So we got Wonder Trade, GTS, also Mystery Gift. It's not necessarily a trade thing, but it's something that they included, and I'm pretty stoked that it's there. So yeah, they have some online interactivity features built into the game, which is always nice for a fan game or ROM hack. A lot of ROM hacks steer far away from trading or any sort of online interactions. Uh, it's nice to see a fan game like this one taking that bull by the horns and saying, no, we will have real online interactions with Wonder Trades and a GTS system. That's really cool to me. It's a feature that's in a lot of modern Pokemon games today, so we take it for granted, but it is nice to see it in a fan game like Pokemon Uranium. Number 9. Shinies. So, shinies are in just about every Pokemon game nowadays. ROM hacks, fan games, you name them. But in my personal experience playing this Let's Play, I got 2 of the Pokemon Uranium Mons as shinies. I thought that was pretty cool. The shinies I got may not have been the best looking Pokemon originally, but their shiny forms sure did grow on me. So that's why they're here at number 9. Number 8. The music. So, Pokemon Uranium did have some seriously awesome music. I know that a lot of that music probably is just stock in Pokemon Essentials or whatever you want to call it, whatever program was used to make the game. But I loved a lot of those music tracks. There were some seriously awesome track selections and choices. A lot of the music really fit with the areas it was being used in quite well. And of course, there were some remixes of some of the older Pokemon theme songs that I thought were just freaking sweet. So, whether or not it's something that was based on Pokemon Essentials or whether it was custom music done just for Pokemon Uranium, I thought the music for this game was pretty darn good. Number 7. Official Nuzlocke mode. So Pokemon Uranium has its own official Nuzlocke mode. When you play the game with this mode, anytime a Pokemon faints, it's done. It's gone forever. No way to bring it back. So for those hardcore Nuzlockers out there, it's a part of the game. I think that's pretty cool. Nuzlocks aren't my favorite way to play, but it's exciting that option is available. So if I decide to pick this game up later at some point, maybe I could use Nuzlocke mode or any other custom game modes that they add to the game with future updates to spice things up a little bit. And I think that's really cool that they give you different options for how to play the game. Number 6. Multiple saves. So the game has the capacity for multiple game saves, even though I personally only used one. Again, if I do decide to play through it again at some point, I don't have to get rid of my old save to do that. I can have a second save with a completely different file on it, doing a Nuzlocke or a randomizer, whatever it is I decide to do at some point. I'm not saying that I will, but I'm saying it's a possibility, and it's something that really opens up more possibilities for playing the game, which is always much appreciated. Number 5. EVs and IVs right there in the menu on the status screen, whatever you want to call it. It's appreciated. There, in so many Pokemon games, including some of the best ROM hacks out there, you have to go to a judge character, an extra NPC, to get an idea of what kind of IVs you're dealing with on your Pokemon. In Pokemon Uranium, your IVs and EVs are right there in a numerical format where you can see them easily. Just at a glance tell if your Pokemon is a world beater or the biggest piece of trash. So it's really nice to have your IVs right there in the menu. I wish Nintendo would take a page from that book and stop just kind of squirreling the IVs and EVs away. We know they're there, Nintendo. You don't have to hide them from us. We'll figure them out on our own eventually. Just give us the numbers. It's not that hard. Number 4, the learning experience. So this is one, again, that relates more to my personal experience, but having to deal with some of the challenges that came with Pokemon Uranium, the way that the screen sizes work and things like that, has forced me to become a better YouTuber. It's caused me to become better at using the tools that I use every time I record a video, and through using those tools, learn them better and figure out things that I could do personally on my end to make the videos a better video, to make it a better presentation. So uh, big ups to Pokemon Uranium for kind of forcing me to learn to better utilize some of the tools I already had at my disposal. Number 3, auto run. This feature, it took me a while to figure out how this feature kind of worked, but once I did, I was off and running, literally. So the game has a feature where, once you get the appropriate running footwear, you can set your settings to automatically run anytime you're pushing a directional button, unless, ironically, you're pushing the button that you're supposed to be pushing to run. Really was happy to have that feature around. It made a game that in a lot of spots was otherwise pretty slow to get through, at least somewhat bearable. Number 2, trainers you can rematch over and over again. And no, I am not talking about that dumb phone number system. That was terrible. It was terrible when Nintendo did it the first time. It's terrible in Pokemon Uranium. It's more terrible in Pokemon Uranium because you don't have the Fly HM to go fly back and rematch these trainers. But there are a couple of spots in the game. There's I believe a rich boy in a Pokemon Center, and as well as the EV training ninjas, where you get to just sit there and continuously challenge specific trainers over and over again. They use the same team every time you fight them, and I would not have cleared this game without those. They are such an important feature for this game. There should have been more of them, but I am super glad for the ones that we did get.
Very impressive, number 2.
The plot. Pokemon Uranium had a pretty decent plot, as far as I'm concerned. Was it a little dark for a Pokemon game? Yeah. There was a couple of kind of sort of cringe moments in there where there's some choices that are made by certain characters that kind of raise some eyebrows. But all in all, despite a couple of really annoying characters and a couple spots where I'm sitting there looking at the writing and I'm going, that's not how this works in Pokemon. Other than a couple of minor gripes like those, the plot I think was pretty spot on. It's really what made the game worth enduring. you know, I shouldn't say enduring like the whole game was terrible, but yeah, I do think that without a good plot, I really lose interest in a game pretty quickly when it comes to this type of game. So I'm glad it was there. I'm glad that the plot was there, and I'm glad that the plot kind of ended up the way it did. Was it a little predictable? Yeah. But I still enjoyed it nonetheless. So that is it for the top 10 best things about Pokemon Uranium. Did you agree with my list? Is there anything that wasn't on the list that you think should have been? Go ahead and sound off in the comments below. If you disagree, feel free to leave a comment about what you disagreed with. If you want to dislike the video, that's your prerogative, but I'd prefer to have a discussion about it rather than just watch all the dislikes pile up. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope each of you has a great day. Bye-bye.